Good morning, or good evening, or good afternoon, everybody. This is Sally Ember, Ed.D, on the Changes Google Plus Hangout on Air. With a special guest this morning, Janice G. Ross. And we're having lots of trouble with Google Hangouts today here in Missouri. Very big thunderstorms going on. I'm sure that's part of it. My lower third keeps disappearing. I keep getting kicked out. So we're going to persevere here. Janice, would you like to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yes, hi everyone. It's so nice to be here. I am so very excited and to get a chance to chat with Sally. And I hope that we have a lot of people online listening in live. And be sure to send your questions. Ask me anything. And I'm looking forward to a wonderful chat for the next hour.
Thank you, and thanks for being such a good sport. Making me out again. I don't really know what to say about Google Plus at this point except ARG. We were supposed to have comments tracking working, and it was working great about 15 minutes ago, and then it kicked me out twice, and now it's not working. And we had a comments wrangler who was supposed to be with us this morning, and it sounds like, or seems like she couldn't get in. I invited her like 3 times. She was in earlier with me, so I can't explain this. Google Hangouts and I are just not really making it work yet, but we're trying. This is episode 4. As some of you may know, last time we had audio and no video with our guest Connie Dunn. So at least today we're improving that. And I'd like to talk with you, Janice, about what it is you're interested in writing about and why it is you write about those things. So how would you like to explain your choices of topics, characters, settings? Where would you like to start?
Sure. Number one, I have to say that I love the written word, and I love to explore, and I love anything different, anything out of the norm. And even before I get into why I choose to write, I have to tell you, Sally, with your book, This Changes Everything. That's one of the things that I loved about your work, because I think there are so many similar ideas out there, but when you could take it and just kind of throw a curveball out, and give readers something totally different, because a lot of times people don't know what they're looking for until they find it, and I'm sure you'll agree with that. So that is my motivation for anything that I write. So I write, I write a little bit of everything. I write about family and relationships. I write about abuse. I write about the hurtful things. My stories aren't always happily ever after, not because I don't believe in happily ever after, but that's just how it is. That's life right there. Or your typical happily ever after, princess kissing a frog, and he turns into a prince and they ride off into the sunset, or whatever the case may be. That's not real life. And I try to give that in all of my works. And most recently, I've acquired an alter ego. So I also write paranormal under my alter ego, Jack Summers. So
what's the whole name? Wait, say it again. Jack who?
Jack Summers, Jax Summers. And
S-O-M or S-U-M?
Oh, S-U-M-M-E-R-S.
Okay, that's good, because I saw that on your website, and I didn't get to really explore that yet, and I was wondering who that was or what that was. So say more about that. Is that supposed to be somewhat of gender ambiguity, or is it supposed to be male?
No, you know what? And when I was actually thinking about a name, because I did want to distinguish between my genres in the general sense, but when I was thinking about a name, I didn't want there to be that much of a focus on, whether it's male, female. To me, that's irrelevant. you know. And
Okay.
so, but with, you know, sometimes when you're setting things up, you have to put whether female, male, female, and just like I just want to name, you know, I just want to name it. It's part of me. It's part of who I am. So yeah, but with Jack, it's just for example, the first book that that's out under Jack Summers, it's a story that takes place in 10th century Mali, and it mixes vampire, very old, I guess even prior to the whole Dracula stage. It mixes a bit of that and African culture and myths from ancient times and so on and so forth. So I wanted to just kind of take different ideals and just mix them and come up with something totally different. And that's just me, you know.
So interesting. So I have several questions that come to mind. First of all, I am geographically ignorant and impaired. So where is Mali? That's my first question.
Oh, okay. Well, no, that was the Mali Empire in Africa, over on.
What part, though? I mean, Africa's huge, so
Okay.
we're approximately.
Oh, okay. I guess closer to the western side. Yeah, closer to West Africa.
Is it near Cote d'Ivoire or near Togo or?
No, well, this is an ancient empire.
Oh, no longer there.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, what part of Africa were you born in, and where did you grow up?
Oh, I wasn't born in Africa. I was born in Guyana, South America.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were born there and then you came to Ghana. All right. So tell us again then, because again, my geographic impairment is showing where exactly is Guyana.
Guyana, it's South America, by Brazil, Venezuela. They were in just a quick history. Guyana is British Guyana is the only English-speaking country in South America, and it's situated right up at the top. I guess you can kind of say midsection or so, but right up at the top. And there were three. Well, there are three Guyanas. There was a British Guyana, a Dutch Guyana, and a French Guyana. And after we gained our independence, we just became, instead of being called British Guyana, we're just Guyana. So
Okay.
yeah,
Guyana.
yeah.
Okay.
And there's the Dutch one became Suriname, and there's still French Guyana there now.
Oh, that is so helpful. I didn't know any of that, of course.
Hmm.
And then what I do know, though, is that Belize is a Central American country that also speaks English and Spanish and other languages, right?
Yes, yes.
That's not connected to Guyana.
No, no, that's further up. That's actually up, yeah, Central America. But Guyana is just lower. Like I said, Brazil, Venezuela, and so
Got
forth.
it. Okay. And how long did you live there?
Well, my family is actually from there. I was born there, and we we came here. Oh goodness gracious! When I was 6 years old, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or the year I turned 6, something along those lines. But it was 1980.
And so people that encountered you at that point, you would be speaking English, but you probably had a different kind of accent?
I did have a different sort of uh, accent, but I don't know. I guess because I was still young, and my mom, prior to us coming up here, my mom would actually travel up here, and I always remember when my mom would come home, you know, her biggest thing was, you know, speak proper, speak proper. She didn't really want us speaking too much slang, and yeah, so it was always, you know, speak proper, you know, not wanting us to drag our words and so on and so forth. So even coming here, I was, you know, I was able to blend in well, and I grew up in New Jersey, in North Jersey, so there were, even at that time, you know, a good amount of my friends were actually from the Caribbean and from Guyana, because even though Guyana is situated in South America, it's still considered a part of CARICOM and the Caribbean. So,
Okay, like with Trinidad and the other islands over that way?
Jamaica and so forth. So yes.
Okay, okay, that makes sense to me. So back to Mali then, which is no longer a country, and the customs and the magic and the different ways that you depict that. How did you find all that out?
Research. Research. You know, I'll tell you honestly, oh gosh, like I said, I love what I do. I can't imagine doing anything else, you know. But I was taking a nap one day, and the entire story actually came to me.
No way! That is how I got my books. I was asleep.
Oh gosh.
Exciting and narrating.
Wow.
And it turned out it was me. And oh, that's so interesting that we have that in common. So you were in your sleep, you got it, or it woke you up?
I dreamt it, and I felt like I was a part of it, like I was living this story. And when I woke up, I was in awe. You know, I was totally in awe. And I had the entire storyline, because there'll be 7 books. I'm sorry, there'll be several books in this series, and I know exactly how, you know, the first couple of books I dreamt it, and I know exactly how it ends. So,
wow, that is so similar to my series coming to me. That's interesting. So what is the name of that series? I want everybody to hear you say that and explain how many you've already got and what their titles are.
Okay.
And I'm going to do a screen share while you do that, and hopefully Google Hangouts is not going to kick me out while I do that. But if it does, I want you to keep talking,
Okay.
and I'll come back, okay?
No
and
problem.
even read from one of your books if you want to. But I'm going to try to do a screen share, and let's see if it cooperates.
Okay, no problem.
And meanwhile, you talk, okay?
Okay, will do. Thanks. Well, now, Samaria is the name of the series, and the first book out is Warrior Princess. The second book in the series will be released later on this year. I haven't actually decided on an exact date yet, because I have several books that I'm preparing to release, and I'm trying to establish that. Nevertheless, the second book in the series is a Vampire Queen.
Now, how come I'm not seeing these on your Amazon page right now?
Because it's listed under Jack Summers.
Oh, see, that's the trick. All right, so now I have to go to the different person. Oh, that's just so interesting. All right, so everybody's going to watch me do this now, because I have never done this, going to your alter ego. So here we go. And that's why they weren't on your page. I'm scrolling, and it wasn't there.
Oh my gosh.
Well, tell us more about the series itself then. Like, how do you divide the novels? How do you end and start each portion of the series?
Well, only the first
Without giving too much away. Don't give too much away.
Okay. Oh, no. Only the first one is actually out. Like I said, the second one should be released sometime later on this year, because I have several books at any given time, because I dream a lot of my stories, which I know is probably crazy, but I dream a lot, or I could just be sitting somewhere and an entire storyline comes to me. So the second book in the series will be out later this year, but I have I'm working on a paranormal collection with several other authors, and Jax will be contributing to that. And that particular, so I'm working on a story for that collection under Jax called Carnum Lavare, and it means remove the meat, and it's a Venetian ghost story. So that'll most likely be released before the second book in this series as part of that collection. So there's quite a bit going on with that. And for anyone that's interested in reading uh, Samaria, it is available exclusively to Amazon. I also have paperbacks. I can provide autograph paperback, but everything's available exclusively through Amazon. And with that, I am I had it added to the Kindle Unlimited. So if you are signed up for Kindle Unlimited, you can actually read it for free. Or the purchase price of that is only 99 cents. So, it's an interesting read. It's a good read. I know I enjoyed writing it. So, and for anyone that reads it, I would really love your feedback. Like I said, it's quite different. The ideas, the concept, and everything. So definitely worth uh, definitely worth checking out. Like I said, I know I've enjoyed the entire experience with it. So. Mhm. Um, it appears that let's see if like the screen has stuck, and I know that Sally is based on the storms that they're having in Missouri. So I know that she's having some issues with that. So I'll just continue to do one of the things that I do, which is talk. So I love to talk. So nevertheless, so I guess I'll talk a bit about my other novels that I've published under Janice G. Ross. And so my very first novel was oh goodness, Damage Girl, that was released back in December of 2012, and that is a um, Damage Girls is a 3-book series, the final book being released in December of 2013, and it actually examines um, abuse in the form, well, sexual, um, um, physical, and emotional abuse. It's about 2 young girls that get caught up with an older guy. He has a thing for young girls, and he preys on them, and just covers the things that occur in those types of relationships, and even showing what made these young women susceptible to that.
I
So
hope you're still there. I hope you're still talking.
I have been talking, and that's what I actually just I just said. The wonderful thing about this is that I'm a talker. I love to talk.
Good. I'm so glad because it totally kicked me out. It turned off my entire computer. I hate Google Hangouts. They hate me. It is just really unpleasant. I can't use the screen share. Every time I try to do it, it freaks out. So what did I miss? Don't rehash everything, but did you talk about your books, I hope?
I spoke about Samaria, and I also mentioned that the second book in the Samaria series won't be out until later this year because Jax is releasing a book with a collection, and it's a paranormal collection. Yes, and it's that story the story that Jax will be releasing with that collection is called Carnum Lavari. It's a Venetian ghost story. So, interesting.
Venetian, like from Italy, Venetian?
Yep. Mhm. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow, you've got so many different kinds of ideas going on there. I love that.
Well, you know what? Like I said, I love different concepts, and I love culture. So, and what was interesting about that too, I think I was at a Facebook party. I love Facebook parties. And my kids tell me that I need to get a life because when I tell them that I have a party to go to, they're like, "Are you on Facebook again?" But it's just so much fun. You're meeting so many people from all over the place, and and it's not the same thing. No two Facebook release parties are the same. So, nevertheless, but it is. I was at a Facebook release party, and it may have been something that yeah, it may have been something that I was working on. Nevertheless, um, whilst I was there, the theme, one of the activities were to find images of carnival. So when
Like
someone,
Brazil Carnival, you mean like what they do for Mardi Gras?
yes, like Mardi Gras, because there's so many carnivals around the world, and someone posted an image of a carnival in Venice, and I said, wow, and it just kind of latched onto me and drew me in, and I said, oh my gosh, and I was mesmerized, and I felt like I had an out-of-body experience, and that's how this story came to me.
Wow. Well, so now I want to go back to the other thing you talked about that I got kicked out during, which is that you said you were woken up after having this whole experience of yourself in Mali.
Yes.
Right? And that you had all of these experiences and feelings and thoughts. It seemed very real. So, of course, as a Buddhist, what I'm going to ask you is, do you believe in reincarnation?
Um, you know, I in this most recent story, I do address that. Um, I want to say that I do, but I have not. Um, I've not researched it or really gotten because for me, I have to be able to connect with something. I don't just take what someone tells me as law. And that's just me. I need proof, and I need to, and especially when you feel something or you get certain urges, and and something like I guess like a nagging feel about something, you want to pursue it further before making that decision. And I think that's important for everyone, no matter what their belief is. So I've always been curious, and I've always, joked around about certain things and saying, well, wow, I could imagine in my previous life that I was this, or I did that. But I can't say that I believe because I have not pursued
Okay.
knowledge
So
yet.
the other perspective on this that I use as a physicist and a multiverse understanding would say that everything that can happen is happening, has
Yes.
already happened, is currently happening, as I talk about in my books, and that's the reason I write in the present tense for everything in my books, is to emphasize the simultaneity of all time. So then all the books we are writing, we've already written. All the stories we're telling, we've already told, or someone has told. All the things that are published are already published. So in some ways, we're taking dictation, or we're remembering, or we're just recreating something that's already created. What do you think about that?
Yes. You know what? I agree. I
You
agree.
do?
I do. Um, you know, uh, I can remember in one of my narrative classes, and this really had me thinking. Um, my professor, oh my goodness, absolutely amazing. Um, he said something that really made me think. Nothing. I guess perhaps it's not like groundbreaking or anything, but he said with any story, when you're referring to a story, it's always in the present tense because
Ah,
yes, yes, he said because it's living, and that always stuck with me, you know. And for the longest, I wrote in present tense, and when I started publishing, when I was getting ready to publish, I had to kind of say, okay, I have to retrain my mind but because I look at a document, I look at something and it's always living, and that always sticks to me, you know. So I do agree. I do agree with that. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's actually both possible and not possible. It's a paradox because we can't live in nonlinear time.
Mm-hmm.
If we actually lived in nonlinear time, nothing would ever be born, nothing would ever grow, nothing would ever progress in any way. Everything would be completely present, static, and non-existent because it wouldn't arise from anything and it wouldn't return to anything. And so all of that's impossible, okay? But what do you do with the idea that everything is simultaneous when it can't be precisely simultaneous, or it would be nothing?
Yes. Yes. Interesting.
Like a baby wouldn't be born, a baby wouldn't grow, we wouldn't age. Like that can't happen. Look at us. It's happening in a linear progression. Even just talking, we talk from past to present to future. We're speaking. Our sentences line up. Sentences in America from left to right, in Israel from right to left. But it's still a progression.
Yes.
It's not all one on top of the other, everything obliterating what came before. And there's no before. What do we do with that?
That's deep.
Well, these are the things we wrestle with as writers in the future and the past and in the alternate realities, right?
Yes. No, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. My voice is looking to go, but luckily I have my water.
Go ahead. Take some water. Please do that. I'm noticing that either nobody's making any comments or I'm not seeing them updated. So I apologize to anyone who's typing away on our events page because I don't see anything. The last thing I see is from 8:38, and then my own comment at 9:04 my time, which is Central Time. So if any of you who are watching have been typing in comments or questions, I apologize. I can't see them. I don't know what's wrong with my computer or Google or what the problem is, but I hesitate to do anything else right now because I'll get kicked out again. So I'm just not going to do that. And I'm just going to say, never mind, and I'm sorry we can't interact with all of you, and I hope you'll send us notes on the YouTube once this is archived, and we're just going to keep talking, okay?
Wonderful. I don't mind. I'm sorry, I headaches. I'm sorry, these sinus issues when I first wake up in the morning time. So, okay. I'm sorry. Are you there, Sally? It appears that Sally, due to the storm, Sally must be having issues again. So we'll. So I guess I'll just continue to talk. I'll just continue to talk in the meantime. Nevertheless, so what were we last talking about? We were talking about time and so on and so forth. Now, I don't know if anyone watching or listening in, I don't know if you are able to comment on here. And okay, nevertheless, I don't know if anyone watching or listening in, if you're an author or so, but but I'm curious to know, how many people actually pay attention or can truly appreciate writing in present tense. I know it's more common to write in past tense, but well, Sally writes in present tense, and I've read her her sci-fi book. Very interesting concept. So, for anyone, you definitely have to check that out if you, especially if you, expanding your mind and just looking at, at different ideologies and so forth, and just really appreciating um, a thorough uh, sci-fi examination of sorts. So, yeah, nevertheless, well, it would appear I think that Sally should be coming back on shortly. Now, as of present, the only book that I've written in present tense is Loving Me. And for anyone listening, if you're familiar with that, great. But uh, I I actually use first person present tense for that story because I thought it gave the best possible effect. Really allowing me to get into the mind of my subject, and you know, hopefully Sally will be back on shortly, and yeah, it's, nevertheless, so uh, now I'm gonna talk, and talking comes easy for me, but I guess perhaps this, with it being visual too, it's I make faces as I do my own show. I make faces, just as a normal progression. Okay, looks like Sally is coming back on now. So here she is. Yeah, yeah. You're back. Welcome back, Sally.
Are you still there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh my God, my whole computer crashed again. It's got to be my problem. I apologize to all of you listeners and viewers, and to you especially, Janice. I am so sorry.
Oh, no, 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 no problem. I understand. You have nothing to do with the storm.
I don't know what's going on. I really don't, but it is definitely something I have to look into. Meanwhile, what did I miss?
I continue talking a bit about writing in present tense, and and I was actually saying that only one of my stories I've written in present tense. It's actually first person present tense, and yeah, I love that, and I also mentioned that your book, is the same, and you know. Now you were saying, and I'm curious about that. You were saying that that your story came to you in a dream. Now, was it a series of dreams? I mean, was it just like an overshadowing of everything? And did you immediately know, um, like the beginning and the end of your story? How was that for you? Oh, it looks like Sally may be chipping out again. Wow. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Well, I'll just continue talking. Now, I don't know if anyone is going to be in the New York area. Uh, when is it? Starting, well, next week is the Brooklyn Book Festival, and I'll be there next week, Saturday. I'm sorry, next week, Sunday, I believe that is, and let me check. I believe that is the 21st, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yep, next week, Sunday, the 24th, I'll be at the Brooklyn Book Festival, and I'll have a
This
booth.
way? Is this working?
Yes, it is.
I have resorted to my phone. I'm so frustrated, I can't even tell you. There's really something wrong with my computer.
Oh, okay.
It just keeps shutting off, making horrible noises, and I don't even know what's wrong with it. So we'll continue here. I know this is a weird way to do it, but hello.
No problem. No problem. Trust me, I understand. But yeah, I'm here.
I have to hold it up like this for it to work, so we may have to cut it short. And I'm not sure I'm the one who's going to be able to end this from here either, so that'll be interesting, right?
Oh, wow.
This hangout may go on forever if I can't get on to end it. But meanwhile, you were talking about the present tense, and then where did you go from there?
And then from there, I mentioned that I love book festivals. So next week, I was saying I don't know if anyone is in the Brooklyn area or New York area. I'll be at the Brooklyn Book Festival.
Awesome! What are the dates for that?
Well, it's next week, but I'll be there. The actual festival, I'll be there next week, Sunday, the 21st. And the event is, oh goodness, don't tell me I don't know exactly what time. Nevertheless, it's an all-day event, and I believe it ends at either 4 or 5 o'clock. And yeah. So I'm so excited about that because I was up at the Harlem Book Festival sometime last month, early last month. I was at the Harlem Book Festival. No, I'm sorry, in July. I was at the Harlem.
Well, that's great. And so are you going to be signing books and hanging out at a table somewhere?
Yes, I have an exhibition booth that I'll be at, and I will. So for anyone, if they want to locate me, they can actually look at the Brooklyn Book Festival's website, and I'm listed there under cultural concepts.
All right, so let's talk about that for a minute because I haven't brought that up yet. The name of your website is Cultural Cocktails, which I did put on the events page, www.culturalcocktails.com. Tell us how you came up with that as the way for people to find you.
Oh, okay. No, I actually published my books under Cultural Cocktails, and I offer various services and so forth. But to me, and I think I may have said this at the beginning, to me, the whole literature experience, or literary experience, rather, and reading and everything, it's like having a cocktail. You know, it's something that I can enjoy and kind of savor and just melt into words. So it's a very relaxing and cooling experience. When I was actually looking at names, what I wanted to name my website, I didn't want to do Janice Dawson. So a friend of mine, she knows me. I said to her, she said, what do you like? I said, I love culture. She said, okay, beyond culture, what is it that you like? I said, I love culture, I love reading. And so I think I was looking, okay, culture, because I wanted to do a magazine as well. I said, well, a cultural magazine, like that sounds lame. And finally, I think after she knew, I was racking my brain, and she said to me, she said, well, it only makes sense, cultural cocktails. Duh. And I'm like, oh. And I fell in love with the name, and the rest.
Well, that's great. You get a collaboration with people who know you, and they come up with some really good insight.
Yes, definitely.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. I want to thank you again for being such a good sport and continuing even when I kept getting kicked out, and now I'm on my phone, so I'm this little tiny person, but I want to make sure that you get to say some things to people about your other work and what your website offers and what else you're doing in the public. So this is your chance. We have about 15 more minutes or so to explain to people where else they can connect with you. So what would you like them to know?
Oh, okay. Yes, great. Well, what I'd like them to know first and foremost is that I am I love to communicate with people. So, you know, if you're a reader and you have any questions for me about any of my books or so, oh my gosh, don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you're an author and you have any questions, you know, or feel free to reach out to me as well. And also another thing that I like to add, you know, I actually do critique some of our authors. I do beta reading, and I love that. I find that I do reviews, but I've since limited my reviews since I started doing critiquing and beta reading, because I'm finding that I love behind the scenes, and I love working and developing and doing editing as well, but I love the whole behind the scenes thing and helping